everyone, Michelle here, personal trainer and lifestyle coach. Today we are here to talk about our March 2022 theme of the month. Now, last month we examined how we can best break down all of our goals into their incremental steps. What is one thing that you can do today in order to be able to get a little bit closer to your goals? And we used our acronym ACT for that. So this month, what we're going to do is examine our goals a little bit closer, but from a different perspective. We're going to start looking at the reasons why we're not going toward our goals. Now, everyone knows that they might come up with excuses or procrastinate, especially when it's something hard, something difficult, or a big project. So that's what we're really going to take a look at this month, is why do we make these excuses? Why do we make these obstacles for ourselves? And if there are outside obstacles, how can we work around them? So that's the first thing that we want to do, is examine what we're trying to do, what our goals really are, and then we want to examine the reasons that we're not getting there. Whether those are your own excuses, or again, if those are external obstacles, we have to identify them first in order to be able to work around them. And then we have to create a plan. Now, it's one thing to make a plan and another thing to actually implement said plan. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I often talk to my clients about what is the path of least resistance, right? Not necessarily to be lazy about what we're trying to do, but to think smart and make sure that we are thinking ahead and we know what types of things we might run across. For example, if you wanted to start working out in the mornings, but you have a really hard time going to sleep or waking up early, then having a plan B as to when you might be able to make up that workout later in the day if you don't wake up, or if you have an early meeting or something like that. So not only are we making our initial plan, but we're also making a plan B, plan C, plan D, basically as many as we need to. And remember that the more detail you have, the better. If you can literally write down that I'm going to sit down at this desk with this, pencil and this notebook, and that's when I'm going to take the time to do my business plan or to write my paper, the more detail you have, the more likely it is to happen. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to put those plans together and put them in motion. But we have to examine why we are making these excuses or making these obstacles or running into these issues in the first place. If it is such a strong reason that you probably won't actually do whatever that goal or activity is, maybe it's time to re-examine that goal. Keep in mind that goals are always changing. Yes, we can have an overarching goal, but it's okay to be able to be adaptable and to realize that maybe some things aren't as important as we initially thought they were. Maybe they need to be tweaked in order for them to fit our lifestyle, or maybe our lifestyle needs to change in order to be able to adapt to our goals. A great example is a lot of people love to travel. If you are in a job where you have to be there every single day and you're the only person that does your job, then it's going to be a lot harder to get that time off in order to be able to travel. So then you can start to think about the things that you'll need to do in order to make your lifestyle also adapt to what those goals are. Or vice versa, if you find that you really like your job and you initially thought you wanted to travel, but now you can see that it's a little bit more important for you to be able to advance your career, then start to think about how you might be able to do maybe small trips instead of trying to do, 2 weeks or 3 months at a time. So really, we just have to make sure that our goals align with our lifestyle and that our lifestyle is leading toward our goals. And then while we're examining all of these different things, we want to decide why these obstacles are happening and how we can overcome them. So our goal for this month is each day you're going to write down at least one thing that you're working toward, and then an obstacle that you either anticipate or that you run into and experience, and what you're going to do, how you're going to change your tactic to make sure that you are able to overcome this obstacle if it happens that day, how you might be able to overcome it immediately, or if it happens again in the future, what your plan B or plan C is. The more we plan, the more likely it is to happen. And think about the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. We want to think about being able to use that idea and think ahead of ourselves in order to make sure that we are able to go toward our goals. So I'm super excited to hear about your progress and how we push towards these goals a little bit more. And if you have any obstacles that you need ideas or how to work around, please reach out and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day.